Go to the fire station.
Please excuse the mess. They've done wonders with the upstairs bedroom, but this garage defies color coordination.
It was a simpler time in the 90s.
Sorry, Steve. After I'm through here, I've got cleaning to do. Rush, rush.
This is a fire station? Excuse me? Saliva's foaming from his barking chops. A picture of a phallic-like structure standing in a row. How many is that? Another phallic. Decorative oriental fans from the Ming Dynasty. The lights are too high up to reach. An impressionistic landscape. Picture of a storybook fairy castle. A well-endowed nude man standing in the moonlight. There it is again. An accident just waiting to happen. Good lord, the penis in this game. This should be called Penis, the game.
Don't bother me, I'm sketching. Oh, look what you made me do.
Oh, goodness.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the House of Flame, as we like to call it.
Oh,
Oh, cut it out, Spots, honestly. Once he gets barking, a good piece of meat is the only way to shut him up. There you go, Spot. So, Steve, bet you don't remember me. Heard about that short in the old wiring. I'm Fire Marshal Sparky, head of your fire department.
Oh, this game would not go well in the modern day. Where'd you hear about my memory losses? Then why are you sketching nude men in my fire department? Let's do that one first.
Don't be silly. Everyone thinks that amnesia kick is a scream. Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Besides, it's my job to keep abreast of developments in the community, to better serve you, the public. I'm sure you'll be thrilled when you learn of the many civic improvements we have planned for your fire department.
Such as...
Well, don't tell any of the others, but I've secured a bolt of the most divine moth material. I've hidden it because, well, if any of these Marys got a hold of it, it'd be gone in a jiffy. So I'd rather keep it hush-hush. I'm going to make new drapes for the firehouse, and if I have any left, cross your fingers, I'm going to make everyone matching mauve pillow cozies.
Those are civic improvements.
Don't be such a party pooper, Steve. We're talking about our future. Besides, we haven't had a fire in Harvard since the newspaper building burned down. Though I'll admit that the Wasp Woman's place is one big accident waiting to happen. Isn't that right, Spots?
Oh my gosh, this game, it's hot, it's almost too much.
I don't converse on the job, Steve.
Oh my goodness. Whew. 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 I'm afraid to go to the next police station. The cop ignores you, too busy writing bug report. Bug report? Stars and Stripes forever. Merca. An empty file cabinet labeled solved cases. A map of Harvest. It's labeled unsolved arson and it's full. It's labeled unsolved murders and it's full. The door's locked.
That's the evidence room, where we store items lifted from crime scenes. It's kept locked at all times. There's things in there that could make people jump through hoops, if I wanted.
So I need to get access to that room somehow.
Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Dwayne, and this here is Loomis.
Pleasure, I reckon.
We haven't met before?
Of course we have, but I heard about your alleged amnesia and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank, and not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding.
Amnesia.
Why do you want to break your poor mama's heart with all this amnesia bunk?
I'm telling you the truth. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you've always been a kidder, Steve.
Yeah, so everybody keeps telling me.
Boy, you need to stop all this funning and get serious. You've got a wedding coming up soon. Heck, you should be thinking about your career and about joining the lodge.
Wedding.
Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to marry the prettiest little thing in Harvest. I think you and Stephanie are perfect for each other. I just hope her father's disappointment doesn't spoil everything.
Disappointment?
Mr. Potsdam wants to hold the wedding in the lodge, but he'll never get in. Like all the rest, he's always hanging around the post office the first day of the month, waiting for Boyle to bring out that month's lodge applications. And there's always a long line, never enough applications to go around, and even if you do get an application, chances are you're right out of luck. Fewer are called to the order and even less accepted. And Potsdam, well, they've turned him down so many times, unless he does something radical, he'll never get in. Sure,
Newspaper
you
fire.
remember? The Sentinel building burned down about 6 months ago.
That's what I'm telling you, Sheriff. I don't remember anything. Why won't you believe I have amnesia?
Well, you've always been a kidder, Steve. Anyway, the fireman said the fire was caused by arson. I never caught the perp, though.
But we found the gas can that was used. Yes, sirree, Bob. It's in the evidence room.
Loomis, that's classified. Darn it.
How many times you gonna have to tell me to keep my mouth shut, I wonder? Sorry, Bob.
You've got the gas can in the evidence room? Did you dust it for prints?
You've been watching too much TV, Steve. Heck, who can make out all those curvy lines anyhow? No, it's sitting in there gathering dust, clean as the day we found it. Just in case I ever need a spare gas can. That case is closed, Steve.
Loomis.
Loomis here is my deputy. Without him, I'd have a hard time keeping the peace, or at least taking a lunch break. Mainly Loomis answers the phone and babysits the office while I'm out, though sometimes he likes to go in the back and stain the jail mattress. Isn't that right, Loomis?
Oh, now, Sheriff, what you gotta go and say that for?
Loomis has more than his share of problems. I wouldn't invite him to the wedding. Or if you do, make sure he doesn't catch the garter. That could be embarrassing.
Oh, I wouldn't do nothing, Dwayne. But I sure would like a little garter than been around Stephanie's thigh. Oh, well, that'd be right special.
Oh my gosh, this game. I might have to somehow lure them out of the police station so that I can get into those rooms. So here's the burned up newspaper building. What's left of the newspaper building after an extreme fire? At least the plumbing held up. 3 fire hydrants and the building still burned down. No kidding. What's that about? Go to the diner. Save the game. $1955 Frag 100 with a real leather seat. Even from the ground, you can hear the sonorous buzz of the neon.
Hi, what's your name?
Karen,
What are you doing?
playing. My mom is working, so I gotta stay out of her hair. Wanna play?
Not now, maybe later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Nothing I can examine here.
Hello there, Steve. Here for lunch?
No, just here looking
So
around.
he's here now?
Well,
Is this
I'm not entirely
time-based?
sure where here is.
Oh, I forgot. You're playing your little amnesia prank. Well, boy, this is DNA's diner. Isn't that right, Edna?
Don't listen to Sheriff Dwayne. This is Edna's diner. But ever since the E burned out on the sign, they've been giving me a hard time.
Now, don't be like that, Edna. It's a great place to eat, which is good, since it's the only place to eat in Harvest. Stop on by any time, Steve.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing sneaking up on me like
You
that?
knew I was there.
God, for a second I thought you were Mr. Johnson. What would you like to order? Sure.
You know
And
me?
my name's Edna Fitzpatrick. I'm not the one with amnesia.
Then you believe me.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I guess I've changed. I'm not kidding.
Now, Steve, faking amnesia won't help anything. If you don't want to marry Stephanie, then don't. But don't play sick, for heaven's sake. I'd expect that from Karen, not an 18-year-old.
Where is Stephanie? Karen.
You've met Karen, my 8-year-old. Other than the diner, she's all I have.
Okay. Stephanie.
There isn't a nicer girl in Harvest than Stephanie, Steve. You should be grateful that she's promised you her hand.
I don't remember that happening, Edna.
Honestly, you men are so childish. I don't know what it is about marriage that turns even the bravest man into a coward. I was going to marry Karen's father when he just up and ran out on me one night. I heard that he joined the lodge, but if he did, I never saw him come out again. Even Sheriff Dwayne wasn't able to find out what happened to him.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson has a liking for me. I'd call it a crush, but that's too innocent a word. He's a bitter man with too much time on his hands. He's never gotten over being rejected by the lodge, and there's something unwholesome in the way he looks at me. I'm always glad when the sheriff comes in every day at noon.
TV station. What the frick? A silver tucker with a yellow interior. Too busy drinking and smoking, they ignore you. Indians. They're Indians. Okay. Why are they... What the frick? A fairly primitive form of mind control. The applause sign. Odd, no one is operating the cameras. A corny western backdrop complete with a cardboard teepee. That's why there's so many Indians lined up. They're really killing them, I'll bet. Either the show isn't compelling or no one wanted to be taken out by friendly fire.
Stay tuned, buckaroos. There's more to come on Range Riders Cowboy Roundup. So don't go away. And what's your name, hombre?
Steve?
Steve's a swell name. My dog's name is Steve.
What the frick?
Would you like my autograph, Steve?
Sure.
Here you go, then.
TV violence.
Violence? What about it?
Children watch your show. Don't you think that this violence is bad for them? I love all the blood and gore on your show. I'll do number 1.
Violence is as American as apple pie and low SAT scores. Where would we be right now if the cowboys hadn't gone out west and butchered innocent people to steal their land? Answer me that, Mr. Know-It-All.
But what about studies that have shown that children become more violent when watching violence?
Buckaroo, I rip the guts out of godless heathen Injuns. Most kids don't see godless heathen Injuns on a regular basis, and if they do, they better either get their eyes checked or do like old Range Rider and shoot the bejesus out of them, lest they want to go untreated for psychotic hallucinations or wind up with their scalps hanging from a buckskin belt. Oh, shit! Ow! Shit on a stickaroo! The parents that are griping about violence on TV are the same parents that go outside in the morning to fetch their papers, secure in the knowledge that they won't get an arrow through the noodle because the violence they hate so much done cleared the engines out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, civilization has benefited from violence. But should violence be treated as entertainment?
Check my rating, son. Violence is entertainment. I just put it on the air. If some kid watches, that says something about the kid, not me. Now, excuse me, we're going back on the air.
Picture of a gorgeous model signed with Kiss My Pineapple, Red Muffy.
Hey, Sport. This is a private office.
Yeah, I know, Mr.
McKnight. I own and operate this station. Have you brought me some news for tonight's broadcast, or...
I've lost my memory. That's news.
The hell it is! You always were a kidder, Steve. Any real news to tell me?
Actually, I was just wanting to know more about the TV station.
Hey, WHAR is the only television station in Harvest. Since the old Sentinel went under, what with the newspaper building burning down and all, we're golden. Nobody competes with us, Sport.
You and your partners must be rich. What an odd coincidence. I'm gonna say that.
Hey now, Sport, that's an irresponsible allegation. I had nothing to do with that fire. Just because WHAR may have benefited from it and I danced on the ashes a little doesn't mean I torched the place. You can ask Sheriff Dwayne. Give me doubts.
You seem awfully touchy on the subject, Sport.
I'm touchy when people try to muscle their way into my business. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave my office and don't come back.
3 more areas to go. This drinking fountain doesn't work. These lockers are riddled with inexplicable stains and dents. A glass-protected fire alarm. It looks like the bake sale will be held here. A bulletin board riddled with staples. So I can go in this door, and that's it.
Steve, good of you to drop by, big guy. Haven't seen you since graduation. A lot of changes, I hear.
You could say that.
Good, good. That's a nice part of my job. Turning fine young men and women out into the world, and then watching them prosper. Of course, I was able to reach more people at the old Sentinel, God bless her. But then again, I never got to see the results of my work up close before.
Who are you?
You know very well I'm Mr. Harold, principal of Gain Memorial. Steve, I've heard about this amnesia nonsense. I had hoped you'd be in the lodge by now, fine young fellow like yourself. But now, I think maybe you need a little more quality time.
What?
And spend some quality time
Alright,
with you.
what's this quality time? I'm really scared.
What do you mean, quality time?
Some, like Miss Whaley, favor stern discipline, corporal punishment, as a means of socialization. Myself, I temper discipline with love. Quality time can be such a warm, sharing experience. After just a few sessions, you'd stop this amnesia nonsense and become a productive member of society and a fit candidate for the lodge. Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
Oh my gosh.